Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Cantina MX Football Podcast. We are wrapping up the first weekend of this tournament. We had a total of 12 games and a lot to be learned. We're going to be talking about it tonight. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter Spaces. And it's about 9:43 p.m. So a lot of us will probably be listening to this tomorrow morning when we distribute the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Do us a favor, if you haven't been here before, make sure to follow us on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out. But really, let's talk about it. We had the last game of the weekend just wrap up between Tunisia and Sweden, with a Judas player on the Swedish side. You know, I noticed something was odd when Yassine Ayari celebrated the first goal in the 7th minute. He didn't want to fully participate. And then on the last goal, on the 5th goal, he, prayed. And I'm like, wait a minute, this guy is not Swedish. And I looked him up. He is got parents from Tunisia and Morocco. So already opening up with a lot of controversies. I think the biggest takeaway in this World Cup is a lot of countries have players that weren't born in their country. I forgot what country it was that had a lineup with all their players coming from every other country but the country that they're representing. Obviously, when you talk about the small Caribbean teams like Curacao, Haiti, you leave those countries for better opportunities, and I guess it's kind of like the Mexican thing. You're Mexican by birthright, so I'm sure it's a similar situation. But overall, I think we've had a really, really good start to the World Cup. One thing I wanted to say right off the bat is, you got to throw those historical statistics out the window once the World Cup kicks off. You talk about going into this game, Ecuador hadn't lost a game since 2024. And, Albert on the podcast was praising Ecuador's players. They got world-class talent, and they weren't able to get past the Ivory Coast. They lost 1-0 at the bitter end. And there's similar stories from the weekend. I just think that the World Cup is a different beast. You have to respect every opponent, and anybody can beat anybody. We're in a different environment. We're in North America. I got to deal with North American heat. I know the American stadiums, some of them today were, sealed and air conditioned, but the games in Monterrey, Guadalajara, and La Azteca, you have to acknowledge the heat. You have to acknowledge the environment that you're in. Let's see if we can get some people to join us on Twitter Spaces. I don't see any requests coming in. But, yeah, Tunisia really weren't able to handle Sweden. Yassine Ayari with a brace. Alexander Isak had a beautiful goal. I think a lot could have been done. I'm looking at the goalkeeper. He could have done a lot better in both of those goals. There was also a goal that was ruled offside, and then after further review, they actually overturned it, which I thought was interesting. So in the end, Sweden handled business 5-1. And honestly, they were very polite. This game could have easily ended in a 7-8-0 fashion. The other team that held no mercy this weekend was Germany. This is not the Germany that Mexico beat in 2018. It looks like they're taking it a little bit serious. They kicked off things earlier today against Curacao, and what a moment for a debut country. Germany scored first, but Curacao was able to get their first World Cup goal, which is very, very special. So shout out to Curacao in the World Cup. Oh, are you guys able to hear me now? I think we had some connection issues. Talk to me, guys. Awesome, awesome. So we had 12 matches. Well, and were you able to catch some of them? How you feeling about the kickoff to this tournament? Mm-hmm. Who has the contract? Oh, but it's not been confirmed. Yeah, I guess we can kind of go back in reverse order. We already talked about Mexico. I'm not going to double tap into that. Korea in Guadalajara, honestly, they showed a lot of resilience. They were able to turn things around. Czech Republic scored first, and then it was a nail biter to the very end. Korea is going to be a bad matchup for us. That's all I'm going to say about that. But then we had Canada with their opening game against Bosnia. And Canada, I think a lot of people just get a little bit too excited about playing these players in FIFA and stuff. But the reality is, Canada, this is barely like their third World Cup they've ever been to. And this was barely the first point that they've ever gotten. So, baby steps with Canada. I know that they're, co-hosting, but don't really expect much out of them. They have great individual players. But as a collective, they were out of the three co-hosts, they were definitely the worst ones. As far as the USA game, I'm gonna say this. I didn't watch it. I was disappointed with the opening ceremony. You know, with all the star power available to you in Los Angeles, they went with fucking Kate Perry and Future. Like, come on, man. Like this was a great opportunity to get like the world impressed by, just the country that you live in, and trying to get everyone on your side, especially, everybody kind of hates America, like outside of America. And if you would have had like the craziest opening ceremony, I think you would have won a lot of people over. That being said, I saw the scoreline, I saw the highlights. They look good, 4-1. I don't think that's probably their best performance ever in World Cup history, in my opinion. Um, a team that, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things. I always talk shit because you talk to the people that live here in America, and a lot of them haven't even left their own fucking city, let alone the country, right? So they're not well rounded, they're not cultured. I've had the luxury of being able to go to Mexico, go to like rural Mexico, where my parents were from. I got the opportunity to go to like different countries in Europe, backpacking. I understand that the world is not what the news tell you, the media tells you, social media. You have to go out there and experience it before you talk shit. And I feel like it's the same thing with Europeans. They just see all the propaganda on TV. We have a crazy ass president. I'll be honest. He says the most outlandish shit, and I think we rub people the wrong way. The Americans are like arrogant and ignorant, and seeing like people travel here to watch the World Cup here and going to like you mentioned, like a fucking Waffle House or a fucking Walmart, they're just like overwhelmed with like what this country has to offer, and they're like seeing us in a different light. And to me, it's been very interesting to see it all unravel. And I think the biggest culprit is like Freddie, this random guy on Twitter who started just tweeting his experience, and then all of a sudden he's getting the red carpet treatment everywhere. And I also think that's just like, I don't know, bro. I think they're doing that intentionally to make America look good right now. Yeah, I mean, I'm in San Francisco, right? And everyone thinks that we're wearing rainbow colored hair and that there's homeless people running rampant, and there's like fent heads everywhere. And I'm like, there is the Tenderloin, and if you go down that street, it's fucking rough. And yeah, there's feces everywhere, but that's just like a very very small part of the city, and everybody just thinks like that's just how it is. It's like it's not, bro. It's actually a really gorgeous city. There's a lot of opportunities here, and most people are fucking chill. So it's like we get so caught up in the internet, and that's just we make bold assumptions of how that is in real life, and then you come visit, you're like, oh, actually, like, holy smokes, like it's not like that. And this is why I enjoy the World Cup so much, because for fucking 30 days we put all that bullshit aside, we embrace something that we all truly love, which is the sport. And then obviously there's patriotism with your own team. But even that, like, we've seen so many clips, especially in Mexico. I don't know how it's been here in the States, but in Guadalajara and in El Azteca, like, dude, we have just been embracing the Koreans, the fucking Swedish. Like, they're Mexican now. Like, we're fucking doing shots with them and shit. And they're like, yo, this is fucking crazy. Like, why can't we all just get along, man? K-pop versus banda, tacos versus Korean barbecue. And I heard they got some soap operas too, man. They're going head to toe to toe with our novellas. So, yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I was mentioning about earlier in the chat about how no matter where the World Cup is hosted, they do a really good job of making it look like consistent. And even today with the game in Monterrey, I was really looking forward to that one because obviously like Mexico doesn't have that many games, and the very few games that they've had so far have been quite impressive. And the Rayado Stadium, we're so used to it being broadcasted like on VIX or TUDN with the game being on a small picture in picture and then these big ass ads, and like just watching the game like proper in 4K. I'm like, man, this is awesome. And overall, I've just been really really impressed with the three venues we have in Mexico, and I'm like, I want more. I wish we had more games. I wish we had more games in Mexico. I'm really bummed out about that. Yeah, and that one really bums me out because that's where the final's gonna be held,
Yeah, and that one really
and
bums
there
me
was
out
no
because that's where
aura
the finals.
whatsoever. I think he's taking a piss. Yeah. As far as the matches yesterday, we had Qatar and Switzerland over here in the Bay Area. That was a rough watch. Honestly, it was. The thing about that stadium is it's very close to the San Jose airport, so it's not allowed to have like any kind of roof. So you're just out in the sun baking. There is no shade, and overall, like the actual performance was. I expected more from Switzerland. Holy shit, bro! Like for them to allow Qatar to tie them at the very end is embarrassing. And I think out of all the games, for what we expect out of Switzerland compared to Qatar, I think that was like one of the worst performances I've seen in the World Cup.
solid defensively, which they were today as well. I mean, it was the last minute goal. And their defense, they did hit the crossbar 2 times. So I mean, they were creating chances. You know, the score line says 0-0, but if you watch the game, it was back and forth attacking. I enjoyed it. I didn't find it boring.
Really? Okay, so I do. So he has scored. So he has scored. I was tripping because I was looking. Because I was like, what team does he play for? And I was like, I think it's Pachuca. So I looked it up and I saw like zeros all across the board. But maybe that was an Ecuador thing. I'm not really sure. But I he missed so many shots. And to me, I mean, how like 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 you mentioned earlier on the other game, like they could have been up 3-4-0, and then they just fucking get that game taken away from them.
Yes, I mean, CONMEBOL in general. I mean, Paraguay lost, Ecuador lost, Brazil got a point. So, you know, that's 1 point out of 9 for the South Americans. So let's
Wow.
see if they turn it around.
So nobody from
Ye-
Conmebol has been able to get a victory.
No, but it's yeah, yeah. And this Brazil, normally it would have been Brazil, but this Brazil hasn't been at that level of other Brazilian teams, and you've seen a lot of their top, um, a lot of their top players criticizing, Ronaldo, Romario, all of them criticizing the team, saying how the opposition used to be scared of them. And rightly so, this is true what they were saying. Like
Mm.
they would win the game before the match even started because, the rivals would be seeing the Ballon d'Or winners and all these, like, you know, world class players on the other side, man. And yeah, that aura, it just Brazil lost it. They just haven't had it. And they don't seem to have players that are like, you saw Vinicius' goal, but that was like kind of the only thing, that for me, at least for me, that stood out compared to like Ronaldinho, and he would have a bunch of plays during a match. Um, and to me, that was like the one that he managed to do. And yeah, I don't think we've seen that Brazil, man, and it's like the, that like what's left of that old Brazil is Neymar, and he stayed on the bench, and he's older now, and he's like fragile because he's been injured before, so it's kind of like fucked up analogy,
Yeah,
That's the old Brazil dude. You can't even bring him in because he'll probably get, you know, in una dura entrada, dude. That's it.
let me
I actually think he's
He's
hurt right now.
jump in real
fuck,
quick,
dude.
Joel, to add to that. You know, Brazil used to be impenetrable. That was and they worked very hard at that, right? You have 5 World Cups on your badge. You know, you're the most successful in this tournament. And I would say, like in the '90s and mid 2000s, like no one thought that they could even get close to Brazil. And they had so many iconic players: Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Romario, Rivaldo, Cafu, Roberto Carlos, like Kaká even. And it's like now the that is not the perception that people have. I think they have historical respect, but let's be honest, like what have they accomplished in the last decade, right? I mean, even we beat them in the Olympics gold final. So I think for Brazil, it's tough, right? Like that's why I mentioned in the beginning historical data and historical stats. Fucking throw all that shit out the window, bro. This is the World Cup, and anybody can beat anybody. And we all know a pain in the ass that Haram ball Morocco plays. Like it's fucking annoying. It's hard to beat them. And it was a tough game for Brazil, but I think everyone expecting them to be these world beaters. And although they have great individual talent, like I haven't seen it happen in the collective, and it was evident in the World Cup qualifiers. Like they didn't really finish respect, in a high position like Argentina did. So with Brazil, there's a lot that they need to figure out. I think they brought in Ancelotti to kind of be the miracle worker that he was at Real Madrid, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, yeah, and also because And this was a criticism from years ago, man. It's probably over 10 years that I remember reading from one of the Brazilian players. And he was talking about how they weren't producing the type of talent they had produced in the past because the clubs were interested in selling players. And so they were producing the players that the Euro teams kind of go after, these more physically stronger and taller type players. Um, and so he was saying that they were kind of losing their essence because they were customizing for Euro, and that's kind of it felt for me like watching that game. It sort of felt like an EPL match at times. It didn't
Uh,
feel like watching the old Brazil that like I used grew up watching. Playing in Copa America or watching them in Libertadores and World Cups. It felt like a Euro team. And that's probably why they brought in Ancelotti because they figured you have all these players that they all play in Europe and probably played most of their career. That's the other thing, players that now grow up playing in Europe, as opposed to before, go more through the Brasileirao and have more of that Brazilian flair. Um, and that's probably why they brought him in, because it's like to probably be more able to understand this guy than a Brazilian coach. That's claim to fame is probably a Libertadores, where half of the match is putazos. So it's interesting to watch that. And Morocco, the other thing is as well. It's not even representative of their own football. Like in the past, it would have been each country kind of represented the region, but Morocco has that now that I think is the first team to field players that they were all foreign born. All 11 of their starters were all born outside of Morocco.
mm.
So and developed outside of Morocco. So that's not even the football of Morocco. It's from
Joe,
all those other countries. Yes.
Joe, if I may add to your first of all, how's it going, guys? If I may
Welcome,
add
Albert.
to your, what's up, guys? If I
Yeah.
may add to your point on the Brazilian, I was listening to Sage, and Sage said that one of the other issues is they've gotten a lot like the Mexican league, where your prime positions, your attacker positions, your creativos, those positions are being taken over by mid-level Argentine and
Shit.
Uruguayan players. So that's why it's a double pronged problem. So they're selling they're
Yeah.
molding their young guys to sell to the EPL, and in the league n-
They're
they're not
importing.
producing these attackers
Yeah.
because those spots like I remember you said and Ron have said that in the Liga MX particular one of the
Yeah.
positions that gets occupied by these foreigners are the attacking positions, and that's one of the issues they're having among the issues you also named.
Yeah, and you've seen it recently where the Brazilian league paid top dollar to bring back some Brazilians from Europe. Paid like 30 million or something. It's crazy the
My
amount of
hot
money they
take
were.
on that whole Brazilian thing is also that if you look at Brazil historically, they were like one of the first teams, elite teams that had like a good mix of like black players, white players, mixed players, like whether it was like Socrates, Garrincha, Pelé, and while you had the other elite teams like all white Italians, all white Englishmen, and so on. And now you look at England now, look at France now,
Germany.
you look
Germany.
at
Germany,
yeah,
bro.
you look at Germany now. So it seems like genetically, like everyone has also like caught up to them. So now, like they were like the first team to like fully like embrace that due to their context of their country, and other countries like 10, 20, 30, 40 years later are now at that level. And then you add on everything else, like their best player, like their starting striker being in Brentford. We're talking about Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Romario. Brazil starting striker plays for Brentford. you know they're not going to be good.
Bro, yes, they can't. They haven't been able to develop a striker in a very long time.
Like
I
you
mean,
need a
they
guy
have
playing
guys
at,
from Crystal
Man
Palace, Brentford.
City, Barcelona, Madrid, something. Not no
The
Brentford,
EPL
Nottingham.
the EPL has single-handedly destroyed the Brazilian national team. I remember watching the Netflix, or not Netflix, Newcastle documentary, and they were talking about how they signed Guimarães, and he was like, "Man, like everybody in Brazil, like their dream is to play in the EPL." I'm like, when the fuck did that happen? I mean, I think back in the day,
when they dropped that bag.
it was their dream
he-
to play in La Liga. Now it's like to play in EPL. Like really, like
But yeah,
it
It doesn't match
extra.
your identity.
doesn't
It's
suit
a
them.
Statistical league.
They don't
Is
give a
that-
shit,
that-
man.
that one touch, two touch soccer doesn't. It got rid of the fucking
Yeah.
magic.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, because I didn't see that. I didn't see that from that match. You know that the player kind of like Rivaldo. You know, even Ronaldinho, they would just stop the ball and dribble maybe 2-3 guys. Just stop it. You know, put the pause in it and hold
Hey,
it.
But
And-
to
and-
throw a
and
little
dictate the
ice
tempo.
pack into that argument, Vinny has the same amount of World Cup goals as Ronaldinho. So sometimes we let nostalgia beat us as well.
But you
I
know what?
mean-
Vinny has the magic, but he just can't do it by himself.
No, I mean, I would say, I think Rafinha in his last 10 games, Copa America and World Cup, he has 1 goal, 0 assists. And
That's
he's supposed to
crazy.
be like, Batman and Robin with him and Vinny. I mean, he's underperforming as well. And then you look at guys like their right back. I don't even know who their right back is, but I could tell you Jesus Sanchez could give him a battle to be a better right back.
You know what? It's funny. It's funny that you say that, Habibi, because I was listening to Saga too, saying that we're used to seeing some of the best backs in Brazilian soccer: Branco, Maicon, you name it, Roberto Carlos, Cafu, and then it has this guy that you said that's probably worse than the Jorge Sanchez. It's kind of sad.
And the reason I pay so much attention to it because every time Mexico would get knocked out, like Brazil was my go team, and I'm like, damn, bro, not even my Brazilian brothers out here are booty. Like, who am I gonna go for now?
It's
But you know
IT.
what? They left Enrique on the bench. I think they should have rolled with him instead of that Brentford guy.
Dude,
but,
doesn't
you know.
he? I mean, he's the reason why he got. Ancelotti is the reason why he got loaned out because he doesn't rate him, and
okay.
I don't know why he took him to the World Cup if he's not going to use him. But yeah, it's a shame, because this kid looked promising, but it's Real Madrid likes to collect players. That's the way I see it. They just try to go after like the youngest sensation, even though they still
like
need more
Kubo.
time.
Like Kubo, I know we got a little argument about Japan, but earlier in the day, but I think Kubo is another guy. He's like the Argentine Munuano. It's just they just get these guys and
Masturbino.
they think. Yeah, they get these guys and he's Kubo today. He just wasn't he wasn't decisive. I mean, it's a guy that it's supposed to be. They were calling him the Asian Messi or something like that. But I know it's a bit of it's always an exaggeration. But the guy was hired by Real Madrid because they thought he was a phenom, and the guy he's just another dude.
But he's settled in over there at Real
good.
Sociedad.
Yeah.
He's been
solid.
That's a mid-level team. Come on.
I know, but I'm
he's
just saying, like
solid.
he's been doing okay in La Liga. You mentioned about
Phenom.
your second team. My second team is Haiti. And for me, and it's like, how can you hit on Haiti, bro? Like the fact that they're here is a miracle, but it's not their
If you're
first World Cup.
Mexican, if you're Mexican, I could answer that.
And I think yesterday they were unlucky not to get a draw against Scotland because
They were robbed.
They played really well. They deserved the draw. Scotland didn't do much aside from the goal, and I think a lot of people underestimated Haiti. They're like, "Oh, this is about to be a blowout." On the flip side, shout out to the Scottish fans who sang their national anthem. That shit broke the record of like how I think like the loudest like anthem being sung at the World Cup. It was incredible.
If I may interject, seeing how good the Haitians look, has me hype for what's about to happen in Mexico and the next generations because there there's a there's a
There
good
is.
population. There's a good
Yeah.
population of Haitians
Pretty
all over the
big.
country. So if we could get 2 or 3 of those guys, man, that would be. Woo.
Yeah, back when you had all these caravans coming through Mexico,
Yep.
and then once the borders closed, a lot of them Haitians were like, "Hey, this place is cool. Let's just stay here." And they
Well,
quickly built their community. Like there's whole communities of Haitians, and I
Hell
think
yeah.
even in TJ where they were doing like a fusion food already between
Yeah,
Mexican and Haitian food.
Well,
Yeah.
they had viewing parties in the street. They had a Haitian viewing party for the game on the street in Tijuana. So it's and they do have fusion and they have their own restaurants.
Yeah.
But I even seen them like deep in Mexico. Like I was in Zamora, Michoacan, and they were right there. It's like they're all over
Oh,
the place.
shit.
So yeah,
Damn.
so hopefully
You
we
go
can
to
get
Hong
2 or
Kong
3
and
good players.
Tijuana.
So
Yeah,
what you're
very
saying,
dark
Savio,
right
like in 10 years, we're
10
gonna
years,
see.
we get a Watson Arredondo or some shit like that.
It's
Hey,
like, we had Isela and we had a Nurse that never panned out.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Well, we had Watson and Mr. Jamaican himself, Melvin Brown. Yeah, yeah.
Melvin Brown. So we're
you know what's crazy is that team that failed to qualify for the Olympics against Haiti. Like the goalkeeper was
Johnny Placide. Yeah.
he was there to yesterday.
Cup legend.
Crazy, man. So we'll see how they do it. It doesn't get easier. They play Brazil next, but who knows? We might see an upset there.
shit. Haiti plays
Well, they have
Brazil
the-
next?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, they have the speed and the corpulence to go toe to toe with them. So we'll see.
I'm waiting for like
no,
a big
no,
upset in
Brazil's
this.
winning.
I'm waiting for a big upset in this World Cup from like one of the
A big
Caribbean
upset?
teams, and I think like Haiti is capable of doing that.
Oh no, bro. Come
I
on,
think they're
man.
capable of
Yeah,
wi-
man.
of winning a
Not
game.
Brazil, bro. No,
We'll
no.
see.
Hey.
We'll see.
Hey,
Bro,
Hey,
Brazil
man,
with
come
Ancelotti.
on.
No, dude. Come on. No. Come
hey,
on.
didn't like
Maybe not
Germany lose
Brazil,
to
but maybe
Serbia?
Ancelotti, dude. Come on.
Dude,
More
Morocco-
respect to that
Morocco.
name, dude.
I'm saying like they got
You gotta
Morocco.
put more respect to the Ancelotti name.
They got
bro.
Morocco and Brazil in their group. And I'm just saying, I would not be surprised if we see an
Nah,
upset.
dude, he's not losing,
Bro,
dude. He's,
you
he's
are
Italian,
tripping.
bro.
All
Come
right.
on.
Dude,
Hey, well, look, Haiti, they got a striker that plays for Sunderland. Their best midfielder plays for Wolves. Our best striker in Mexico plays for Wolves. So, I mean, are they really that far off?
yeah, we're pretty much neck and neck with Haiti
Well,
right now.
you know what? That's what I was saying. Like everybody was saying, "Oh, Piojo's trash because he couldn't take Costa Rica to the World Cup." But if you look
Yeah.
at their teams, Haiti's a better team. Piojo had to use 2
was,
guys
yes.
in the Portuguese second division. It's not the days of Wanchope or Campbell. No.
No,
Costa Rica's in hard
their
times,
team was
and
trash.
Haiti
Yeah,
had a better team. Yeah.
it did. Costa Rica's team was embarrassing. I watched some of those games.
Yeah, and it
And
wasn't
I
Piojo.
did not know what I was watching, bro. This was not the 2014 Costa Rican team. But if you go back, like maybe what was it, early 2000 Savio, when we had a couple Costa Ricans in Liga MX, they were pretty good
like,
players,
yeah.
man.
Like Jafet Soto. Yeah.
Yes, Jafet, there you go.
You're telling me like Guatemala,
And el
Nicaragua.
Pelicano, remember el Pelicano? What's the name? What's the name of Pelicano? The el Morenazo. What's the name? Hernan
Shit.
Medford.
Medford, yes.
Yeah.
Dude, they had really great players for a long time, really good. And I don't know what happened because they have that great run in 2014, and you think they would be able to build on it. And if I'm not mistaken, they failed to qualify to the next World Cup, and
Well,
they never
well,
did
they looked
anything out of that. Everyone thought they would at least win the Gold Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
They-
Yeah.
They didn't. They plummeted. They just went crashing down.
Remember after the World Cup, they went into the 2015 Gold Cup. Everybody went in thinking that it was
Yes.
that if the Central American team could win it was them, and they just
Yeah.
they fell flat.
Their fall off
They
needs to
fell
be
flat.
studied. As far as things that don't make sense in this World Cup, look no further than the Australia-Turkey game yesterday. And honestly, a reoccurring theme yesterday was like Spurs and the Knicks. Like Spurs dominated. They held the lead for most of the game, but in the end, it was the Knicks that ended up winning, and it just didn't make sense. I was looking at this Turkey game. You know, tactically, they're much superior to Australia. They have better players, but they lost 2-0. And they had like 70% possession at one point, and they lost the game 2-0. So, like I said, man, anything can happen in this World
It
Cup.
sounds like Mexico versus US in the 2000.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They would dominate possession and lose. That's the one thing about possession, though. I learned from the Italians, where it's like the team will concede possession, and it seems like you're dominating, but if you're not really creating chances, then it's like a false possession. You know what I mean? And
It
then
doesn't
they,
matter how long
yeah.
you talk to her, how many drinks
Oh.
you buy her. All that matters
Yes.
is who takes her home.
It just makes
It's
you
another
look.
night.
It makes you look stupid, right? Like holding all this possession, having all these chances, and then losing 2-0. It's
Yeah,
like,
what are you
bro,
doing?
like,
Disgusting.
fuck your tactics, bro. This is fucking bunker ball like type shit. And that's the thing in this World Cup. We've seen a lot of games that I didn't expect to end in a draw, but they did. You know, you look at the Netherlands versus Japan today. That was quite a fucking battle. And I thought that Holland was going to pull away. But Japan kept fighting back. And in the end, they secured a point. I mean, they rescued a point from that game that they should have lost.
With a header.
With a header. Yeah.
All the commentators and fans were like, why you keep crossing it? They're so much taller than you. It's never going to work. And somehow it worked.
It's like when Chiquito Sanchez scored a header against Germany. We were like, what the fuck?
Hey, didn't Senior score a header once too? I don't know if it was
In the
a
World Cup?
qualifier in
Or
the
no?
World Cup.
Was it qualifier?
I think it was a qualifier versus the US.
I think you're
yeah,
right.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think out of all the matches so far, I mean, obviously we've seen dominant performances like Germany, USA. But as far as like the ones that was like the most even, I would say between the South Korea match and Czechia, and then today with Japan and Netherlands, I think those games were pretty neck and neck. Could have gone to anybody.
The Ecuador game was also. I remember. Well, Habibi had called that he said Ivory Coast and it was going to be a low scoring game. So I had gone for Ecuador because they were pretty solid in the qualifiers. But I think it could have gone either way. But I don't think Ecuador is totally lost. I think they'll get it together.
No, I think they might be screwed because if you look at their group, Germany, they already put 7 goals plus.
Mm-hmm.
So now Ecuador needs to go beat Germany, and they gotta beat the shit out of Curacao. Which will it happen?
Well, if they could get a tie and then beat the shit out of Curacao. Hey, remember 8 of the best third place teams go through as well.
Oh, and that's another thing I'm not a big fan of this World Cup. There's 2 things. One is the water breaks, which I'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But right now is the 8 teams of third place qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
Germany's basically in the next round. As long as they don't lose their next 2 games by like more than like 2 goals, like they could lose the next 2 games by 1 goal each, and they'll be like a top 8 third place team. So the fact that they're in the next round just for beating up the smallest country in the World Cup is kind of bullshit, if you ask me.
But you know what? I remember going. I know, and Joel could also those days, like in '94, it was like you would also get third place teams, and that's one of the reasons that group of death for Mexico was 3 guys went 3. Remember, Joel? Everybody ended up with a win, a tie, and a loss. And then Norway was the team that was left out because just of a goal difference. So
Yeah, 4 points each.
I experienced. Me and Joel have experienced this before, so we know.
Hey, but Habibi, don't put that evil on Mexico, because I think if Mexico finish in first, they might get a third place team from that group, from Group E. And if it's Germany, I'll be fucking angry.
You
Right
know
now,
what?
it's looking to be Ecuador. Right now,
You
that's
know,
what it's looking like to me.
you know what? Going talking about that. You know what? I was analyzing. I was like, you know what? It wouldn't be bad for Mexico to finish in second place because yeah, they would leave us El Azteca, but they would end up playing in
SoFi.
LA. Yeah, and they would end up playing the second place team of the Canada Bosnia group, and all those teams look beatable. So it wouldn't be bad, but ultimately you want to stay in the Azteca.
But I say SoFi is, I don't know if they make the field bigger, but I know that it affected Mexico in the Copa America.
No,
It's
that was one of the
really
conditions. That was one of the
it,
conditions. That was one of the issues. With the negotiations was that
They made it
they
wider.
had a
yeah,
they took up a couple of roles in the bottom.
because even Brazil struggled. So any team that bunkered because of the narrow of the field, it made it more difficult. And for the teams that like enjoy possession or coming out playing, because it just, so I mean, but if they did made it wider, then
Yeah, they took out
that's an improvement.
some rows of seats. That was one of the issues, right? I don't know if you remember back in, I think it was fall of 2023 or 24. Sutcliffe said he talked to employee of the stadium and that SoFi was out of the running and that they were going to go to Vegas. It was never true. It was just, it was just negotiations. And one of the things was, among many things, was that they had to widen the field.
Yeah, I remember that whole debacle.
And Sutcliffe was he just sometimes he just fucking he has a bunch of fails. It's not even funny.
Habibi, you mentioned something that I did want to talk about. It was one of my next topics was as far as the World Cup so far, the hydration breaks. How do we feel about them? Obviously, depending on which broadcast you're watching it on, it cuts to commercials and you start to realize why the hydration breaks are there in the first place. I've been watching everything on Peacock/Telemundo, so I haven't had that experience, but how do you guys feel about the hydration breaks? Like, is it killing teams' momentums? I think we saw that happen with Germany and Curacao.
Oh, we also saw it with Morocco and Brazil. Morocco was came out rolling, and then just that fucking it's basically a break for a quarter. That's what it is because in that break you see the coaches. Maybe they should make it that the players just stay on the field and just give them the water. No, but they use it as a tactical break. The coach come out. You have the little whiteboard, and and it allows teams to adjust after a couple of 23 minutes, and it kills any momentum. And I've been watching it I refuse to watch Telemundo. I don't like the quality of the announcers. They don't spend enough money on good announcers, so I watch it on Beaks, and Beaks is just, oh my god, it's like watching a Canelo fight. They go straight into the commercial. It's pretty bad.
Oh, so you're watching it like the Mexican broadcast on ViX?
Yeah, because here's a little. If you guys do not want to watch Telemundo and just they have low quality announcers. I do not like them. You could watch on the Mexican broadcast through ViX if you have a ViX Premium account in the United States, ViX Premium, and you use a VPN for Mexico.
Yep.
You could watch the games there.
Yep. Okay.
And that's what I've been doing. It's been pretty good. They had the other day today they had Osorio. Then the other day they had Sorin. It's they mix it up pretty good. It's I refuse to watch on Telemundo. They don't spend money on the quality of their announcers.
I've been enjoying Guardado. Guardado's been good. Guardado.
Yeah, but I don't like some of the Ramses Sandoval. I really do not like Ramses Sandoval. He was cringe when he was in Telemundo, and I just do not like him. And I'm gonna be honest. If I can be honest, I like hearing my football in español with Mexican voices. If the commentators could be Argentine or what, but I like my play by play with a familiar voice, with a familiar
You're
accent.
still holding your grudge with Cantor.
No, not that. No, you know what? No, Salido's good. I like Salido. Salido's good. And I watch the Mexico games with Telemundo because I like Salido and I don't like Vaca's hysterics and his theatrics. But the rest, everything else, I've been watching it on VIX.
You know who I hated? What was that dude's name? He was at Univision, and he called like 4 World Cups, dude.
Pérez
Mm.
Navarro?
That one that would say love. Remember when they had the Brazilian called love?
Oh, Pablo Ramirez.
Him,
Oh,
dude.
Elamo Suazo?
I hated that guy, man. I don't know why.
You know why? 'Cause he was like a cheap imitation of Perro Bermúdez. He's always trying to come up with fucking catchy shit. Like, oh,
Yeah.
esa jugada, enmárcala y la quiero para el family. Or apaga la luz. Or le sacó soldadura. Or le sacó. But you know what? There's a crowd of a certain age. I would say that was born in the 93, 94, like that age.
Yeah.
That grew up on him. So he represents,
Yeah.
he's a familiar. So they look
Well, he was
highly
there
on
for a
him.
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And for me and you, Joel, we grew up, wishing we
Yeah.
had El Perro Bermúdez, wishing we had the Televisa guys, so everything in the U.S. wasn't up to par.
Yeah, that's true. We grew up hearing different style commentary, and this just comes along, and it was just, it just to me it didn't measure up.
I like the one from
I mean, he
Argentina.
was
¿Cómo se
good.
llama?
He was good though. Don't get me wrong.
El de
I
Argentina
just
is
didn't
really
like
good.
the style.
Mariano Close.
I love him.
Oh
dude.
yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mariano
that
Close.
dude.
You know, the crazy
I
thing-
like Mariano Close.
The thing about Mariano Close is like he sounds like some old guy, and you look at his picture.
Oh, he's
He's not
young.
that old.
That's
Yeah, he's
true.
like in his 40s.
Oh, I didn't know
or-
that.
Yeah, dude, you think he's like
Thought
a
he was
70,
60. Yeah.
60-year-old
Yeah.
RG,
That's what I
and
thought.
he's not, bro.
I would
Joe,
still
you
be
know-
thinking that if you wouldn't have brought it up.
You know who was good too? I don't know if you remember the pay-per-views for the 1993 Copa America. The Colombian guy, Jairo Moncada, the guy that would go, "Gol, gol, 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 gol." Yeah, I don't know if you remember. That guy was good
Sounds like he's
too.
drowning, my guy.
I'm pretty sure I heard him, but from radio like Caracol. I don't know if you ever heard matches through Caracol.
Colombian, yeah. He ended his career working for ESPN Deportes. He was on a show called Dinosaurios del Deporte. So yeah, just imagine what type of show that was.
That's gonna
Hey,
be
but back
me.
to the topic with the water breaks, dude. I'm not a fan of it. With the Tunisia Sweden game, you saw it today. It was 3-1. Tunisia was on that ass. They're looking for that 3-2, and then boom, you get hit with a water
I
break,
know.
and then it mellows out, and it goes back to Sweden, and Sweden dominating again. And I get the whole, player well-being, player safety, but this is the way I see it. Look, if it's really that damn hot, and you guys are struggling, that's why you fake an injury for 30 seconds. They run in, and you get some waters. You fake an injury, you stop by the touch line, get a quick water bottle, and you're going.
That's
But,
how it used to be.
Like I don't want to, I don't want to be the guy that hates corporate America person, but it just gives you the idea that it's just meant for the commercials.
It is.
And
It is, bro. It
The-
is.
Yeah.
but no, I'm not a fan. It kills the flow. Like imagine the final.
Yeah.
There's 25 minutes left. You're losing 1-0. You're hounding this team down. You're about to get that draw. And then boom, 2-3 minute water break. The coach adjusts his formations. The coach is fixing something that the players are not seeing on the field, and that they're getting like cooked on.
Yeah,
And
they
then
have
that
the whiteboard out there.
and then
Yeah.
that advantage goes away, and now it's like it's mini games within the game. Now you have a new mini game that you got to start over.
So
We're playing basketball quarters here.
I'm glad you bring it up because I have yet to see a team use that as a strategy. And I know as we go deeper into the tournament, coaches are going to have to factor that in when setting the team up. Like, hey, like, because when do they usually do that? Like the 20, what minute mark do they?
Like 23rd, 22nd to
23.
25.
The 23.
23.
20
Yeah.
into 23 minutes of each quarter, of each half. I
Van,
mean,
Van Gaal said
So-
that he used a water break against Mexico to change up his tactics.
Exactly. And I think if you're a smart coach, you're gonna start doing drills and trainings and being like, kind of like how they do in football, like the 2-minute, 2-minute thing where they in the last 2 minutes they try to score a touchdown. I think if you're a coach, like you need to start thinking about that, like telling the players, like, all right, guys, you got like 3 minutes to go ham, and try, or on the opposite, hey, we're getting fucking cooked. Let's just run. What's it called? Wear out the clock, like run the clock out, and then get this water break.
Like in boxing, I remember this was a strategy Sugar Ray Leonard used in his weighted fight versus Hagler. He because in boxing, in the last 10 seconds of a round, there's a light that goes off.
Yeah.
So it tells you the last 10 seconds.
There's usually a sound too, right, that they make.
Yeah, and then his corner would tell him, would like give him a cue. So in those last 10 seconds, he would fucking do flurries, so he would look good in the judges, and that's one of the reasons he won, because he knew that he had 10 seconds to show out. And going to your point, yeah, like you said, there are 3 seconds. We're at the 20 mark. Fucking hunker down, settle down, and we could fucking rethink this, or fucking just start fucking throwing everything at the kitchen sink and see what we find in this 3 minutes. I could totally see that.
Ancelotti used his water break because Morocco was on that Brazilian ass, and it was the water break. He changed the formation, and then he nullified Morocco for the rest of the game. So
well, Habibi, you said in the chat that he switched up like 3 to 4 times his formation in the game.
yeah, he switched his formation 3 different times. The first time was right after the water break. So I mean that's why they brought him on. He's a tactical guy. He knows how to get the best out of his group. But I'm still not a fan. I'm not a fan. You're doing it in stadiums with air conditioning. If the heat was such a big concern, you did the whole Qatar one all the way in the winter. I mean, now you bring it over to America when it's going to be 100+ degrees in some of these stadiums, and you have so many stadiums too. You're going to tell me you don't have some college stadiums or anything that you could use, some domes with air conditioning, if that's such a concern?
Honestly, it was a brilliant move by FIFA and all the sponsors to push for this, because how much more money can they squeeze out of that water break? It's like money hand over fist. So they did a smart job of convincing everyone that this is needed for this World Cup. And yeah, it's really unfortunate. There's no way around it. They're gonna enforce it for every game. But yeah, I agree. Like the games at Dallas and in Houston, those are air conditioned, roof covered stadiums. That's
Yeah,
completely
And Freddie was
unnecessary.
tweeting that he was cold, man.
Exactly.
Jaime, everybody has a false idea about SoFi. They think it's
Sealed.
a roof,
Yeah.
a dome, but it's not.
It's not.
It just has like a canopy, and they made it like what's it called? Environment friendly. Like supposedly one of the open spaces into the stadium blows in breeze from the fucking Pacific, but that's bullshit because I've been there and
Dude, it's like a greenhouse.
Yeah, I've been there for Jaime. I mean, I'm pretty sure Joel's been there too. I've been there for a NFL game, the opening week with the Chargers and back in the end zone, and you're practically fucking frying under that fucking glass.
Yeah, I went there to cover the Mexico Gold Cup final, and they told us in the locker room, and they're like, "Hey, this stadium is air conditioned, but because it's an open air concept, all the cold air, you're gonna be burning. So stay hydrated." And they were right. It was very hot. It was like a greenhouse effect.
Exactly. Yeah, it's deceiving.
Los hicieron carnitas, chicharrón.
I think if you're a smart coach, it's not gonna happen with Mexico, but if you're a smart coach, you will start the game with a certain lineup and then I would completely change it after a water break just to throw off your opponents. Kind of like when a boxer starts with southpaw and then switches back to like their orthodox. Like I think if you really wanted to fuck up someone tactically, like you would do a 180 after the water break, and then at halftime the coach would be like, I don't even know what the fuck happened. Like they wouldn't even know how to prepare for the next half. Like if they completely switched up on you during the water break, like how do you even go into the second half? Like people would be like wondering what your next move is.
You know what? It could be like in hockey. In hockey, they throw out. Obviously, you can't make what's the name, wholesale changes. But in hockey, the coaches switch it up by adjusting lines. They'll throw a new line in there, and they'll change tactics. So there could be something similar where obviously it's the same guys in there, but you switch up the scheme.
I know somebody in the World Cup will take advantage of that water break.
Oh yeah, a lot of smart people out there. Like the Japanese coach, he looks like he was fucking processing data right there.
For the most part, one thing that I've been happy about in this World Cup is the officiating. It's been okay. Like it hasn't been bad. I can't really make too many call outs to bad refereeing. Maybe the
Mexico game,
the opening game, and then I think Habibi didn't like the way Haiti was officiated against Scotland.
Haiti got robbed, man. There should have been a red card in their favor and at least 1 out of 2 penalties.
Hopefully, with the refereeing, because I mean it was pretty bad. I want to say like in Qatar it was really bad. Going back to like 2002, I know that one was like borderline corruption. So I hope that it doesn't become a story later on in the tournament, like the refereeing. But so far, so good. They're wearing like a fucking camera on their head now. So I'm sure they're uncomfortable having to wear so much gear. Like they got these crazy ass shoulder pads and battery packs and who knows what the fuck they're wearing under there.
Yes, I mean the refs have been solid. The stadiums, the appearance has been solid as well. Big crowds. A lot of people were questioning the demand due to the prices and all that sort. But I mean, I think Americans as well are probably shocked because they're seeing crowds for Scotland, Haiti that you normally see like in the Super Bowl or something like that. So it just talks to you about how amazing the World Cup is and also all these cultures, all these people coming together. I was at the store today and we're not even a host city. And I saw like at least 12, 15 people wearing different national team jerseys. So the vibe is definitely there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was surprised, having to fill out all these like 60K stadiums, NFL stadiums. They didn't look empty, not even Levi's. The only one that looked bad was the Korea-Czech game. There was a lot of empty seats in El Akron.
FIFA actually came out and made a post about that because I guess they got a lot of heat about it. They said that the stadium count is tickets are actually scanned, not tickets are sold. And they made a point to look at the fans, like the hallways where they're all getting food, and like point out that there's a bunch of fans just standing around, not at their seats. But yeah, everyone apparently that game got criticized for low attendance, that they had to come out and make an official post about it.
Especially because it was the second game of opening day, right? It's like, oh wow, like you had such a great entrance with La Azteca, and then the second game looked kind of like lackluster in terms of attendance.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the thing about the U.S. because they have people from everywhere, so not everyone has to travel. And and then you have those crowds of like fans from Haiti and Scotland that they don't make every World Cup. So for a lot of people, this could be the only World Cup they get to attend. It's not like in 4 years we'll be back. Some of these teams take 20, 30 years to come back. And that's it makes it more special for them. But Mex is a whole different thing, and And the bad rep it's had recently probably kept more fans from flying into Mex.
I don't think
I don't
no.
know, man.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say as far as bad rep, the bad rep has been the Mexican men because leading up to the World Cup, all I read was, "Wey, van a llegar las de Suecia, van a llegar estas y esta. We're gonna be hooking up with so many foreign women afuera del Oxxo. It's gonna be amazing." And all I've been seeing on the timeline is just a bunch of Mexican women hooking up with foreign men. So the men gotta step their
That's
game up,
true.
man.
They do.
They haven't really, yeah. Shit.
We need to better the race. We haven't seen everybody just yet. Tomorrow we have some other countries making their day. I think Cabo Verde is making their World Cup debut.
Yeah.
But so far from what you've seen, what country has been like the revelation for you? The one that you didn't expect to do well and you were impressed by?
U.S.
Yeah?
The U.S. Yeah. And I expect to play this well. Paraguay, I expect them to be more of a challenge. I know they lost their best player probably a week before the tournament. And a lot of times that can have an impact. But the U.S. hadn't been playing good in a while. And they ended up putting in a good performance. And I think that's going to motivate them in the group stage and going forward. So let's see how they go into their next match. So yeah, I would say the U.S. for me. I didn't think they would lose or anything. Just their level of play, I felt it was good.
I would go with the U.S. as well. When I saw that group, I was like, I think there's a big chance the U.S. finishes third. Because the way
Yeah.
I saw was Paraguay. They beat Brazil, Argentina in the qualifiers. They had a great defense. Uh, the U.S. had also lost to Portugal, Belgium, Turkey, like leading up to the World Cup. And then I'm like,
Germany, their
Turkey,
last game.
yeah, lost to Germany. I'm like, Turkey's a good team. They passed the eye test. They have played with high intensity. I'm like, if they get a draw against Paraguay and then Turkey beats them, it's gonna come down to Australia, and that'll probably be their most even game. But now after watching the U.S. smoke Paraguay and Turkey lose to Australia, it seems like the U.S. has everything to qualify first and
Yeah.
comfortably. And I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Or they just need a draw. Well, I think with a draw, they'll be through to the next round.
I'll go with the U.S. and I'll say, "Damn you, Tata! Damn you, Tata! We could have Pepe. We could have Pepe. Pepe looked good. He looked real good. We could have had him.
Mames, way.
He
He
looked
missed
good.
an
He
easy
looked
goal.
good. Don't tell me Mexico couldn't use him.
He missed a stinker. He
That's all
whipped
right.
an
He looked
easy
good.
goal.
He's got two more games.
He looked good when they were up
Hey,
3-1.
He's gonna knock him in.
He's
gonna knock him in.
He's got two more games. It took Raul what 4 World Cups to score.
Oh yeah, World Cup. Yeah.
So he's got 2 more games. But speaking of US, I wanted to bring up this video that is kind of been making the rounds with Luna, the guy that got left out. It's some podcast. I don't know what the podcast name is.
Los chicos tóxicos.
Comes across a bit goofy because the interviewer is laughing at his own jokes. And but the point I wanted to make it was because they're talking about how he was used in a lot of the marketing leading up into the World Cup, and then that he eventually doesn't make the cut. And so I was talking like they were framing it like he was used.
He was used.
I don't agree with that. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Hey, but you know what's funny, Clown? Do you know what's funny? That outside of SoFi, there were Bank of America's branded cars with its face on.
Well, see, that's the thing. I thought he got his bag. I thought that the Federation was banking on him and the sponsorships, and they were banking on him, and it ultimately came down to the coach, and it reminds me a lot of Moy Munoz when going into 2014, where he had been good with America, he had been good at the start with Piojo, and then when the team started prepping and the other goalkeepers came in, he gets cut, and if you see in an interview, he didn't seem to know why, because he talked about how Piojo never explained it to him. He just told him that he wasn't going. But then later on, there's an interview with Piojo, and he's talking about how during the training, Moy would just leave as soon as it was over. And he talked about the other goalies who come in early and leave late. They were just hustling and they wanted it more. And he said, ultimately when I had to make the cut, it was like these guys were just more professional. And that's who he went with. And it's kind of like, I get the feeling like this guy felt like he was in already. Like he felt like I'm the face of this. I'm in, and I felt like the other dudes just out hustled him. And when they came to the coach to do the cut, he went with the players that were just going in. They were just,
I will say,
grinding harder.
getting an email that you've not been selected is the fucking coldest. Like the fact that he didn't even have the balls to like explain.
But that was all of them. That was all the players, not just him though. All the players that got cut.
I don't agree with
through
that,
email.
I don't agree
So
with
No,
that.
I agree with you.
That's a professional.
No, I agree 100%. I do feel the coach should let them know, The coach should talk to them and been like, hey, man, you're not going to make the cut. But that was all. It wasn't just him, though. Just to clear that out. It was all of
You
the
even set
players
up a
that got
big
cut.
old Zoom meeting with all the guys that you just cut.
I think they wanted to avoid a situation that there was with Pepe and Berhalter, where they said Pepe just fucking hanged up on him. So I think they wanted to avoid any shit like that. But it's not a good look. Like they got to be men about it on both sides.
I would like to see if they would ask, if they were ever asked Pochettino, that was his call. Like, is that how you? I'm guessing it was. Like, is that how you wanted to let them know that they weren't in the team anymore?
The thing
Like,
about-
at least it wasn't like La Puente in '98 where he told fucking Cabrito and fucking Tilon Chavez, hey, you guys figure it out.
The thing about it, like
Figure it out.
what I don't
Yeah.
get is it's not like this was their only chance at a World Cup. They're still gonna be in contention.
Yeah.
They're still gonna be involved with maybe a future call up, Gold Cup or whatever. So you want to maintain like a good relationship, right? Because the people that I don't know why he was on that podcast or whatever the fuck you want to call that, but they were just like us, bro. We were just like fucking fans that love talking about
Wait, no, come on, Jaime, come on. What do you
I'm
mean
just saying, like,
Damn, come on,
he could have
bro.
been hanging out with us.
If I had that dude here, I wouldn't be trying to crack some stupid ass jokes, man.
What I'm
I would
just
ask
saying
serious
is,
questions.
all right,
to learn more about
all
the
right.
game.
Beside the
This
point.
dude
Beside
is
the point.
cracking some jokes
Beside
and
the point.
laughing at his
All
own
right,
jokes.
I'm not. All right. I get it.
Come
I get
on,
it. Don't
Jaime,
get offended.
come on, man.
It's fine. I was just trying to give an example. I'm just saying, like, they were like, oh, like you should switch to Mexico, like joking around, right? And
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
and he said, yeah, maybe I will. And I'm like, oh, like you shouldn't have fucking said that, bro. And he can't
He's
even do it
probably
anymore.
butthurt.
He can't even do it anymore because he already played in a
No.
Gold Cup. But what I'm trying to say is, let me finish my point, then you guys can fucking talk, is by doing something so cold cut, like a generic email that was sent out to everybody, like that doesn't help
Yeah.
you. As a player, that doesn't help you. You get on the phone with the
No.
coach and say, hey, look, the reason why you weren't called up, or hey, like it was very close or whatever, but we still want to count on you for the next one or the Gold Cup. Like you want to keep the peace is what I'm trying to say. You don't want to just be like a fucking generic email and then fuck the US. I'm not gonna if they call me up again, I'm not gonna go. I did all these commercials for them and this is how they treat me. Like I think there was just a better way to handle it is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and also tell the player what he needs to improve on.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just-
Damn, yeah. Yeah, man, that sucked. That is a sucky way to find out, man.
Yeah.
But no, man, I wouldn't be cracking jokes with this dude, man.
I
wanna
would be.
know
I don't
some-
respect
some-
him, so I don't give a fuck, dude.
Well,
Yeah,
let's
but
be
you have
serious
people
now. We
that
talk.
are that are
You've been pissing all podcasts. We can hear your urinal. You wash your dishes while we do the show.
bro.
Let's not pretend that we
No,
weren't
no.
cracking jokes with Luna.
No, I know we wouldn't, bro. We've had some serious people here, man. And so it's not like when we've had, other journalists or even from TV. We don't. We've never made a joke out of it, man. We've always treated it serious and showed respect. And the main thing has been to get info, and to learn because it's like peeking behind the curtain, and you want to understand a bit more of how a lot of this thing works. So
Well,
I'm not.
Jaime's looking too much at Los Tóxicos. Los Tóxicos is just social media slop. They do fucking funny shit. They do fucking funny shit with fucking Dominic Mysterio. They
Oh, I see.
do with other banda guys. So that's their thing. They just say mamada y media. It's not
Just to be
them
goofy.
to be serious.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see. Yeah, I mean, in terms of teams that have surprised me, yeah, I think US, they look sharp, and I can see how this can get carried away because of that's what America does. They're like, oh, 4-1, we beat Peru. Like, no, dude, it was Paraguay. Yeah, whatever. Like, we're going to win the whole thing. And, I think if they win convincingly the next two games, you're going to start hearing the stories. You're going to start hearing the propaganda. We're going to win the whole World Cup, and honestly, sometimes that's all it takes is for the fans and the media to catch on, and then the players start believing themselves, and it kind of becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, yeah, we'll got to keep an eye out on U.S. and how they perform in the remainder of the group. As far as other teams that surprised me, I think just Haiti yesterday showed a lot of heart, and I'm proud of their performance. And Australia, despite the amount of possession that they didn't have, the fact they got a 2-0 against Turkey is a slap to the fucking face, and that really makes Group D, like Group D is just a nightmare, bro. Like that group is, I think no one expected Paraguay to lose 4-1, so this might be like the group that is got the most upsets for sure.
I don't know. I'm waiting for that England group.
Oh yeah, we have to wait and see for that group as well. Croatia and Ghana and Panama.
Hey, who's washing dishes in the back?
That's Joel.
No, that's my fish tank. He's not washing dishes, man. That's my fish tank.
This guy. We have early matches tomorrow, as early as 9 a.m. It's Spain, right? They're kicking off their World Cup campaign against Cabo Verde, World Cup debutee. Then we have Belgium and Egypt. So some really good games tomorrow. Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, Iran, and New Zealand. I was pretty upset that the first 2 days of the World Cup, we only had 2 games, but yesterday and today we've had 4, and it's been awesome, dude. I've been watching all of them. It's the greatest thing.
Yeah, the nightcap yesterday was wild. I remember the last time I saw a World Cup game at 10 p.m. Pacific was obviously Korea, Japan. It was Nigeria versus Argentina. I remember it was the first Saturday of the tournament. That's the last time, and it brought back some memories. It was pretty cool. But you hear all these people on Twitter in England fucking talking shit that the start times are late. Well, it's a fucking world tournament. It's at the fucking Euro. Come on, give me a break.
Dude, remember the 2 start times, like 2, 3 in the morning?
Oh yeah.
Well, it was like that. It was so if they would have 4 games, you would get a 10 p.m. one, and then you would get like a 1 a.m. and then you would get like a fucking 3 a.m. and then like a 5 a.m. It was weird.
But that was the harsh thing about the Mex US game, because I think it started at like 2:30 in
It
the
was like
morning.
3 in the morning.
It started
fucking
at
sucked.
1. And then I remember I went to bed, and then I woke up and I started watching the fucking game, and I was fucking hoping it was a fucking nightmare. But then And then the goal started fighting. Oh,
I
it was a
know.
nightmare.
It was rough. It was rough.
I like those late times. You know, to me, I prefer that instead of day games. Like if you're a working person,
Mhm.
I'd rather get out of work, take a nap, wake up at like midnight, watch a game, take a nap in the hour in between. So I don't know what these Euro guys are complaining about. And same thing, I don't know what these women, your wives, are complaining about. My wife is complaining about. She's like, another one? I'm like, what do you mean another one? It happens every 4 years. It's Saturday night. I'm not going out. I'm staying inside the house. And yes, I want to watch Australia Turkey till 1 a.m. All right.
Yeah, luckily, my wife's been cool with it. She knows the drill, man. And then it's like, I think the last 2 days I've just been spoiled, dude. Like the fact that it's been on all day, and I don't get tired. I get excited because you're seeing different countries that you haven't seen before. I'm over here getting teared eye with the Scottish anthem, how they were fucking screaming it, and I'm like, holy shit! I'm over here rooting for Australia because no one's rooting for them. They're known for rugby, and the goal that Qatar scored against Switzerland, I was like, yes, like fuck Switzerland. You know what I mean? It's like countries that you have no association with, but you're just like, for the love of the game, you're just so like locked in.
Well, that's the number one rule on neutral games. You got to support the third world country.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
whoever's the most fucked up country, that's who you got to root for.
That's why when
You know
when
what?
Curaçao scored, I was like, oh shit, we got a game.
Yeah, dude. I was like, goal, like, let's go. But
And you know what? The stadiums have looked impressive. Like, you know what? The New York one, it is soul. It's fucking too plain. But everybody, I remember they were talking shit. Oh, American stadiums now have soul. But fucking Philadelphia look impressive with all of the Ecuadorians. Fucking Gillette State. I mean, fucking Foxborough looks fucking amazing. SoFi. You guys know how I feel about SoFi. All the fucking today, the two Texas ones. Fucking Energy Field and
Jerry World.
They've looked fucking. They've looked. The final should have either been a SoFi or a fucking Jerry World. The fucking New York is just. It's too fucking plain for me.
I hate that New York Stadium. I hate the fact that the finals there.
How did it even win? How did
no
how did
idea.
that happen?
I always thought Dallas had it.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons I think they gave Jerry Jones 2 Portugal games because he missed out on the finals, so they made it up to him. So, but they were in the. It should have been fucking SoFi too. It's like I don't know maybe the market, maybe because of the West of the they wanted it at a good time, but I don't
For
know.
Europe?
Yeah, for Europe, yeah, but
Yeah, that
don't
makes
know.
the most sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's,
Fuck it. They didn't do that shit in
Airport.
Qatar.
Or 94, because 94 was in
No,
LA.
I just over fucking 12 o'clock in the
That's the
afternoon.
team, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking hot.
Yeah, I don't agree with the final being in that soulless stadium, and seeing El Azteca and all its glory, and how historic that day meant. Third time opening up a World Cup. It's like, damn, bro. Out of all the places, like, I would have rather them have the opening game in like U.S. and then have the final in Mexico. Like, Azteca deserves another final, man.
Like I've been saying, this is not Mexico's cup. Everybody needs to come return. Mexico is they just invite them to be part. Hey, you know what? Tráete la banda. Échale, yeah.
It sucks though because they're not even giving them anything past the round of 16.
No.
And it's like at least give us like a third place match or something. You know what I mean? Like make it close. But the fact that you cut off everybody else and it's all gonna finish in the States for the remainder is like
a semi would have been good in El Azteca.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like it would have been fucking awesome. And it's not like we're gonna get a chance at another World Cup for any. I mean, they've already confirmed the next one's gonna be like between like 5 countries, and then the one after that's in Saudi Arabia. So like,
well, actually, Jaime, I was looking at it. Actually, for the 2000, unless FIFA, which I don't put it past them. They're fucking corrupt. But for fucking 2038, it would be between Oceania and CONCACAF. And Oceania, I mean, who New Zealand's gonna hold it? So we might see it back here sooner than we think because look at for 230.
Australia's
No, Australia's Asia, so they can't. They can't.
And yeah, the Saudis building their new stadium. That
Yeah.
looks
So
world
look
class,
at this.
man.
The next one, you have three confederations involved. South America, where the fucking games are gonna give them, and then it's Africa with Morocco, and then UEFA with fucking with Portugal and Spain, and then Saudi Arabia in 2034. That's
Right.
Asia. So in the rotation, the next one would be between Oceania and what's the name and the United States. And if Australia wasn't part of Asia, then I guess then it would have been them. But
They'll probably make
now-
an exception though, Savio. They'll probably make
you
an
think
exception.
they're gonna make some bullshit? I think, yeah, they have to.
But
Let's go
I
to
do think it's
Australia.
gonna be like a 4-country type thing, because FIFA changed the rules where stadiums need to meet certain expectations, and most countries don't have that. And so that's why
New
we're
Zealand
seeing.
doesn't have it. They're gonna have fucking cricket. What's in the fucking rugby fucking fields?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, look what happened in Brazil. They had, even though they had all these stadiums, they still had to build new ones to meet the requirements, and they're just abandoned. You know,
And
some
you know
of these
what's
aren't even
crazy?
used.
You know what's crazy, Will? That right after the World Cup in 2015, they fucking opened the new stadium. I found that ridiculous. That it wasn't even. It was in Sao Paulo or something. I think Sao Paulo it was a fucking new fucking stadium, and they opened it a year after. I found that fucking hilarious.
damn.
They must have had the same crew as Azteca. It's, it's still getting built. I mean, renovated. But yeah, that new rule makes it very difficult. So, and with expanded World Cup, it's unlikely we'll see now just one country hosting the World Cup. It's going to be multiple.
Well, Saudi Arabia is
and
gonna do it by themselves, so also I don't know.
They
I
got
forgot about
stupid
the
money,
oil
though.
money.
They
But
got stupid
outside
money.
of that, I take it back. Outside of those countries, like those oil money, the rest, like in Europe and very difficult. Maybe England. You think England could host one?
Yeah,
Germany,
Europe
Germany
countries
can.
can't hold it.
I'm
Look at South America. Like, look at the RGs complaining about us hosting like 3 openers. Their Bombonera is like not even fully built out. It's like half a
after-
stadium. Like the only
It's-
country in South America that can host it is probably Brazil.
Yeah.
Well, they did already, but I mean, shit, you're gonna have to dust up them stadiums. They're all like one is in the
Yeah,
jungle.
but that's
It's
what
like
I'm saying.
they,
Like
they
all
use
these,
it to park buses.
all
You
these
know
South
what? They
American
could
teams
probably-
complaining, they got nothing to complain about.
They could probably do one like a Pacific Rim one with Colombia, Chile, Peru, and fucking I don't know somebody else. Everybody puts like fucking 2-3 stadiums, 3-4 stadiums. They could probably do that. Argentina.
That's how it's gonna be, dude. I guarantee you.
Yeah, we're talking way too long from now. I want it now. I want the Azteca to host the final now.
Hey, last week we were talking about Raul making the 230 fucking squad. So, you know, this is
Somebody,
not far-fetched.
somebody calling a bomb threat at that stadium, and then they have to relocate it. Crazier things have happened. Well, I don't want to give up all the juice for our typically scheduled Tuesday podcast, so I'll leave it at here. But I did have one last question, and then we can get to closing thoughts. Do you think that Miroslav Klose's record, 16 goals, will get surpassed in this World Cup? For reference, Messi has, I believe, 13, and Mbappe has 12.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, you just answered it. Yes.
Yeah, these elite, especially the elite teams, are gonna have one more match. So you know, France, Argentina are gonna have one more match, and then and you know what? Argentina is gonna have they have a real easy group. So and one of those, Messi could easily get a hat trick or some shit like that.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I know I think it's France. They have Iraq in their group.
Oh yeah, they could go off.
and Argentina has Jordan and Austria and Algeria in their group. So I fully expect Messi to get at least 3 PKs and tie close in. All right, guys, closing thoughts. Let me know what you think.
You know what? It's been it, you know if you go online and you absorb all the bullshit you see on X and social media, it's easy to get influenced. But you know what? Once I shut that shit off and just watch the games, it's been very enjoyable. I know Joel could probably relate. It's pretty cool to see these teams right here in the
Yeah.
stadiums that we usually watch in NFL. You know, but for me, it's a much better experience. Maybe it's a familiarity, I don't know. But for me, it's been a much better watching experience than Qatar. I just like the
Oh,
size
yeah.
of the NFL stadiums, you know. And then you were talking about the TV, the TV angles, the camera, the production. It's been fucking top notch so far, and we're not even fucking a quarter of the way in. We're barely in. It's been fucking phenomenal so far. Everybody have a good night. See you guys Tuesday.
Thank you, Albert.
My closing thought would be speaking of all the things you see on Next, some of the things that you don't see as well. You know, I have a buddy in Guadalajara right now. He went there for surgery, so he hasn't been able to like enjoy the World Cup. But he was like sending me pictures, and there's all these like pictures of like missing people, but they're all like World Cup theme with like the Mexico jersey. And then I saw a video today of women of with missing children and relatives protesting outside the Monterrey Stadium, and the Sweden fans like were going up to them and like giving them hugs and like sharing their condolences and like acknowledging their struggle. So we see all of this madre, all the good times, but I'm sure that a lot of the tourists are also seeing some of those sides of Mexico as well, that hopefully as a country can get cleaned up. On another note, the Japanese, I've been saying that for like 2 years now. Albert's not gonna like it, but I think Japan consistently has the right plan to keep improving. We saw that against the Netherlands; like they never looked like they were gonna give up. They kept going. And what I liked most about them was their fans. Their fans, the same thing. 90 minutes of straight like banging the drums, the chants, and it gives. The announcer said that they sent a bunch of guys down to Argentina to get trained on how to do it.
Wow.
And then they flew back to Japan and taught everyone else that they even have some chants in Japanese. And, I like the Mexican desmadre and everything, but it just feels like we do the cielito lindo, then we like go back to like drinking beer, talking shit. Then we do like el ole, ole, drinking beer, talking shit. And then, you do like another si se puede, whatever it might be. So I kind of wish that, we call ourselves a soccer country, but I wish as fans, like we would evolve as well. That you could talk to your average fan about on field stuff like tactics or the coaching aspect, or that we as a fan base like would develop like 5 6 chants that are actually like like have to go to the rhythm of a song or something, and it's just nonstop going, like we become like imposing. But in the meantime, I'll watch Japan do that and see what other countries in the World Cup surprise me with their off-field stuff, like their great fan base. The same thing with the Scottish fans. That was also a great thing to watch.
I agree. I think we've kind of outplayed the same fucking chants for 20 years now. You gotta,
Longer, man.
and it's like we have great artists here and great, melodies. It wouldn't take much for us to create something cool.
Nope.
Joel, what you got for
Not
me,
at
man?
all. I really liked that FIFA added that debut pin or badge to the jersey. It's on the side and the sleeve. If you're playing your first World Cup, it's gonna say debut.
Yeah, that's
You
really
guys
nice.
caught
It's a
that?
nice touch.
Yeah, that was mainly it for now. I've said pretty much what I wanted to say for this pod.
Well, if you like the
My other,
equality, do you like all the players walking out before the game, so everyone feels part of the big day?
I don't get it. What do you mean?
For the anthems, they make everybody line up instead of being on the bench.
Oh yeah, that I do prefer that. More of a ceremony, more makes it more official, more important. I do. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I'll save my other hot take for Tuesday because
Let's do it.
it'll probably go long. It'll probably go long, but it's something I've noticed happening, and it's happened before in in FIFA, and it's kind of just interesting. Just interesting to note.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you all for joining us tonight. I do agree that everyone lining up and circling the pitch and singing the anthem, it's beautiful. It's a nice touch, and I applaud FIFA for being considerate and thoughtful because not everybody plays. Let's be honest. Like, there's so many players that ride the bench for 3 games. So, for them just to be out there with the whole team embracing as one is a very nice touch, and I hope it's a trend that continues throughout the tournament. There's still plenty of World Cup matches that haven't even started yet. We haven't gone through all the groups, and that is what I'm looking forward to the most. Tomorrow we're gonna have Spain versus Cabo Verde at 9 a.m., followed by Belgium, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, and then we finish off Iran and New Zealand. That one might be a snooze fest, but we will be here to watch it all. And then Tuesday will be a lot juicier with France playing, Argentina playing. So perfect time for our podcast. But yeah, thank you all for joining us tonight. I don't really have any hot takes, but I am upset that USA look good. They look better than Mexico on opening day, and that does upset me. So Mexico needs to get their shit together for Korea. All right, everyone. Have a good night. We'll catch you on the next one.